Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Junko Bodie YouTube channel. I'm your host today, Junko Bodie. Hey, a couple things today. I'm going to jump into a new roulette system for you today called Meatloaf. Yes, Meatloaf, and I'll tell you why we call it that in a second. Before I jump in, I just want to say thanks to everybody for the questions and comments. We've been getting a lot of them. Let's get started on the system today. I want to get right into it because this is a system that's going to deal with a lot of the questions that we have gotten, which is going to be about recovery, how to use recovery, when to use it. This is going to be a short, it's not going to be, I'm going to be spending more time on the new system than I am on recovery itself, but there will be some recovery elements to it, and I hope that you find those useful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll kind of fill you in as we go here. So the reason we call this system Meatloaf is because we're covering 2 out of the 3 columns to start. And as Meatloaf once famously said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm sorry, guys. I laugh at my own jokes. I don't know why I find that so funny, but that's why we call it the system Meatloaf, because we're covering 2 of the 3 columns. Okay, with corner bets, I might add. So we're going to have out here basically 6 corner bets. And what we're going to do with this system is we're going to double it until we get to $8. And if we lose the $8 bet, then we're going to go into recovery. So it's pretty simple. The bets are going to be $1, $2, $4, and then $8. Now, we're only going to double the bets when we lose. So if we get a hit, we won't double the bet. We'll stay on the same number. But let's go ahead and start, and I'll show you how this works. The goal today, we're going to play until we win $250, and this is a $500 bankroll system. So if you're one of those people out there who want to win 50% on your investment very quickly, you're going to love this system. All right, let's go ahead. So we're going to start off with Meatloaf here. So we're going to start off with a spin. We got 6 corner bets out there, and we get a miss right out of the chute. So the first thing that we're going to do when we get a miss is we're going to double the bet. So I'm going to rebet, and I'm going to double. There we go. We started out with $6. Now we have a $12 bet out there for minus $6. And we're going to be managing this for reset. So you'll see how that works as we're going through it too. Okay, so we get a win there. I'm going to take off the bet that we won. The bet's otherwise are going to stay the same. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to spin the wheel again. Okay, we're right back where we started at 0. The goal is to get to $250. All right, there's a 27. We've already hit that area, so that didn't help us. So I'm going to go ahead, rebet, and double again. Remember, we double when we lose until we get to $8. Now, right now, this will be our $4 bet. Okay, there's 32, so that's going to be a winner for us. That's going to get us $16. When we look down here, we're up $6. That's not quite enough to get out, so I'm going to rebet. I'm going to take off the bet that I just won. And I'm going to leave all the rest of the bets the same. Now, if you look at this system, you can see that the weakness obviously is the first column. And if you had a big, long streak in the first column, that's when you're going to get into recovery. Or when you're continually hitting the areas that you've already hit. Those are the 2 things that can go wrong. Like we just did. We just hit an area that we'd already hit. So I'm going to, one more time, I'm going to double the bet here. This is going to be our $8 bet. So this is the last time that we double. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're down $10 total. Again, $500 bankroll system here. Okay, so there's a 5. That's going to be a winner for us. That's going to get us $40, and now we're up $30. Boom, we're out of the system, and we take $30 profit there, and we start all over again. Okay, same exact bet, and we never change the opening bet. I mean, I suppose you could switch the other 2 sides if you wanted to, and maybe if you had won 5 or 6 in a row with that right column, that 3 to 36, maybe you would. But otherwise, you can pretty much keep the bet the same all the time. So very simple setup. Okay, so there's a 14. That's a win here on our first spin on the new reset. You got $3 profit, but that's not enough. So we're going to rebet, take that bet off, and we're going to let's see, that was 15, right? So that's this one. And we're just going to leave the bet the same and spin again. So we're up 30. We started with 30. Idea is to get some progress off of 30. Okay, so there's a 14 again. It's the same one we just hit. That does a 3 bet. I'm going to double. Okay, there we go. We're at the $2 bet now per corner. Let's see what we do here. We got 27. believe that's a winner. It is. That gets us $8. We started with 30. We're at 36. That's not enough. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to take off the bet we just won. Otherwise, I'm going to leave the bets the same, and we're going to spin again. That's how this rolls. So if we get something over $40, then I would probably reset here. Okay, there's a 25. That's in the wrong column, so that doesn't help us. So I'm going to double again. And now we're on the $4 bet. Okay, well, let's go ahead and spin here. We started with 30. We're at 28. Let's see if we can get a hit. There's a 15. I believe we've already hit that one. We did. Okay, so that doesn't help us, so we're going to spin. This will be our last double. We're going to the $8 double here. Sometimes I can go a long time without ever getting to $8. But let's see how we do here. We got 11. That's a $40 win. We started with 30. We're now at 52, and we are out. And we're going to reset again. Okay, so you can see that, it doesn't really matter how many of these bets you win. You're managing toward a money total. So this is truly a strategic and money management play with recovery added in if you need it. And that's one of the reasons that I like this system, that I started playing it more and more in the casino. Okay, so there's a 0. That's obviously a loss. I'm going to rebet here and double the bet here with our new reset. We started with 52. That's the number you have to remember, and that's why you have to write these down when you're playing, is you always want to remember where you ended on the last session. Okay, so there's a 1. So there's 2 in a row that we've missed now. Going to go ahead and double again. We're at the $4 play now. Yeah, usually I don't have to get to 8 very often, but we're getting to an 8 a lot here right now. Let's see how we do here. Okay, so we get a win there on the 5, which is the top corner there. So we're going to take, let's see where that puts us. 46. We started with 52, so we're not near ready to get out yet. So we're going to take that 5 off, leave the bets the same. We're still at $4 per corner. Let's see if we can get 2 wins in a row here. There's a 6. I think that's the same one we just hit. It is. That didn't help us. Okay, so now we're going to go to our last double and get to $8. Okay. And if we don't win here, we go into recovery. There's a 21. I believe that's a winner. That gets us $32. Let's see. We're at 58. We started with 52. So here's the next step in this place. We're going to rebet, but we're going to lower, and we're going to take off the one we just won. But then we're going to lower the bets because we don't need to have $8 out there to get to a win goal here. We just need $2 out there on each one, and so we're going to lower it to 2. And if we hit the $2 one, then we will reset again and start all over. So again, this is another way of keeping yourself from having to get into recovery, is by resetting your bets as you win some bets too. So here we go. So now we're going to go to this. We started with 52. We're at 58. Let's see if we can get here, and then we can reset. There's 15. That's a winner. That gets us $10. And so now we're at 68. We started with 52. We're now at 68. So we're out of this, and we start over again. We reset at $1. Everybody kind of getting a feel for how this works now? And you can see we've made the same starting bet every time. Now we're doing this with $1 bets because it's a $500 bankroll, but if you wanted to play $5, you just have to increase your bankroll to $2,500, and everything else is exactly the same. Okay, so there is a win on 29 on our very first spin here. So we're just going to take that 29 off the board, spin again. Oops, why didn't that come off? Let's get you off of there. There we go. Okay, now we can spin. All right, so we started at 68. We're at 71. And there is, what is the number? It's an 8. So 8 is a winner. Okay. That's going to get us some coin. Let's see, we're at 75. We started at 68. We want to get one more, especially since we're still only at $1. Okay, so I'm going to leave the bets at $1, and you can see this is maybe one of these ones that we just hit quick and we never have to really escalate our bet on. 18, that probably will work. It does. So that gets us $5. So now we're at 80, and we reset. We started at 68, we got to 80. So now our new number is 80, and again, we're working toward 250. That's what we want to win. That's our win goal for the day here. So let's just reset. We are 9 minutes in on our playing, and we're already at $80. Okay, so there's 4. Okay, that's a loss. So we're going to go ahead and double the bet. Very simple. There's a 28. That's also in the wrong column. Okay, we got a couple columns in a row now. That's actually 2 in a row. So I'm just going to rebet and double again. So as easy as the last set was, this one's going to be a little harder, as we can see. And that's how the game of roulette works. It's valleys and peaks. Okay, there's 3 in a row. Okay, good. Well, this is good. We need some adversity here. So I'm going to double up again. This will be our $8 play now. So this will be the last time that we double. And we're going to need a couple hits in a row here, otherwise we're going to be in recovery. Okay, so there's a 6. That's going to be a win. What does that pay us? $24. Okay, we started at 80. We're only at 62. So we're going to rebet all those, and we're going to take that 6 bet corner off like this. Get those $8 off there. And we're going to leave $8 up on the rest of them. And hope for 2 hits in a row. Because 2 hits in a row might get us to a reset position. Let's see if we can get 2 hits in a row. There's the 8. Okay, we did. We got 2 hits in a row. Wow, that was lucky. Okay, so we get to 94. We started with 80. 94 works. Okay, so we reset. So we started slow there, but we finished strong. Okay, so we just keep it going. And that happens a lot when you have 3 or 4 or 5 hits in a row on that first column, and then you throw in a 0, and you've lost 6 in a row. Maybe you throw in a couple zeros, and you use 6 or 7 in a row. But it's always going to spin back. So the idea is you guys got to be able to hang in there long enough to make your money, and that's what we're doing. We're going to by going into recovery, then we start managing to the number that we need, the dollar number. Okay, so we'll get a win there on the 12, which is the second corner up the top here. We take it off, and we're going to spin again. We started with $94. We're at 97. And we creep up. Now, obviously, I'm not playing this way in the casino. I'm going to get 1 or 2 hits with this, and I'm going to move on to another system. But I'm just showing you this because I want to show you how well this thing works and how, by managing your money, how you can become a better player. You don't do this with just the Meatloaf system. You do it with all of them. It's the same play. Okay, so 34 didn't help us, so we're doubling our bet here. We're going to spin again. We started with 94. We're at 92. There's a 2. That's in the middle column, and that is a win. So there's 8 more. We're at 100. Not quite enough, especially since we're at small dollar amount. So we'll rebet, and we'll take that one off. Now we just want some higher numbers, because all of our bets are in the middle or bottom of the board here now. But we're still only at $2. So 28, that's a miss. Great. Okay, so I'm going to rebet, and I'm going to double the bet. There we go. My beautiful wife just brought me a great Greek salad. Thank you, honey. All right, so I'm going to another loss. So good. We've got a bunch of losses in a row now. So that's you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4 because we'd already hit this one before. And so now we are at 4, 8, 12, 16. So we're going to go to the $8 bet now, and we're going to double up. Here, this will be our last double. We started with 94. We're currently at $76. There's a 30. That's a win. That's going to pay us $40. So where does that put us? 116. That's good enough. We started with 94. We finish here with 116, and we reset to the $1 bets. I think you can all see why I like this system. It's pretty simple to operate. It moves very quickly. You got a great recovery strategy for it. There's all the things that you want to like about a system. Okay, so there's a win on the number 23 right here. We'll take that one off, and we're going to spin again. Remember, we started with $116. We're at $119 currently and looking to increase. There's a 5. Another winner. Okay. So you can see, roulette, as we all know, is a game of streaks, right? And, the kind of player that you get to become is how well you handle streaks. If you can handle losing streaks, then you can beat the game of roulette. If you can't handle losing streaks, then you're going to be one of those guys who always says, I got killed because the streak came, right? It doesn't matter. The streaks don't really matter. You ought to be able to outlast 95% of them if you play the game correctly. Okay, so we're at 123. We started at 116. We're going to keep the bet the same and spin. Need one more hit here, and we'll be out of this and resetting. 33. I believe that's a winner. Okay, so that picks up another $5. All right, we didn't make a lot of money there. We made 12 bucks, but we'll take it. We're at 128 and cruising right along. We were at 15 minutes. So it might take us 30 minutes to get to 250. We'll see. Again, usually I'll throw in a $5 round when I'm playing this too, just to speed the process up, or mix it in as just one of the systems in my 10 system play. You can do things like that, and then that just jumps up the dollars. Okay, here we go. That's a 8 winner. Rebet, remove the 8, and spin again. Pretty simple. 28. Okay, there's 30. Okay, that's a win. I'm going to rebet, and I'm going to take off 30, and if I get another hit here, 3 in a row, start, then I will reset. Let's see, or do we just double the bet here? What's it going to be? 20. 20 is a winner. Okay, so we go from 128 to 140, another $12 win. Okay, great. And people say $12 wins, that's not all that much. Heck, we're only playing dollar chips here, guys. We're only starting out with a $6 bet, and we're getting through this in a couple of minutes. So, you got to be smart about the money. I mean, you could say, yeah, I want to make $1 million a year, but you got to figure out how you get to $1 million. It's a path. It's a road. It's a grind. Okay, so there's a win on 32 on the new reset there. We started with 140. Let's see what we are here. I'm going to do a $5 one on the next one. Let's see here. So we're at 143 now. Okay, let's just keep cranking, keep grinding. And again, I wouldn't play these over and over again like we're doing here. This is just so that you get a really good feel for the system. But it's really great to mix in to your playing strategies, right? It's a new strategy that you can add. Sometimes I get bored playing the same strategies over and over and over again. So I'll mix in new stuff once in a while just for variety. Okay. And we're at 147. We need one more hit here. Let's see if we can get something. There's a 2. I think that's a 1 or 2. Yeah, we're in a little bit of a streak right now. That's great. Okay, so there we go. We've got 152, another $12 win. And we're going to take that. Okay, so now I'm going to mix in a $5 play. And probably the worst time to do it because we just had a big winning streak, or probably due for a losing streak. But that's okay because we have recovery, right? Okay, so we're playing $5 chips now. I'm just going to do this one time just so you can see it. Starting with 152, let's see what this jumps us up to. Okay, there we go. 34, that's a miss. Okay, so go ahead, double the bet, just like I would do on dollars. And let's see if we can get a hit here. 14 is a win. Okay, so I'm going to take off that bet. Keep the rest of the bets the same. For our way, we started at 152. We're at 152. Okay. So let's go ahead and spin here. 10, that's a loser. Okay. We go ahead and double the bet now. We started with 152. We're currently at 102. Oh, then we get the 0. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to rebet, and I'm going to spin here. See, what do we have here? So that's 40, yeah, 80, 120, 160, $200. So this is the 8 right here. This is us at 8. So if we don't win here, we go into recovery. Let's see if we can get a win. 30 is a winner. 8 says 160. We started with 152. We're at 162. Now we could surrender here and just take the $10 win, which would probably be the thing that I would do if I was playing in the casino, but I want to rebet here and just be able to demonstrate that if we want to get more, we don't have to play $40 here. We can just take all these down to 10. I'm going to fix that in a second. Oops, I'm going to clear them all off and just put 10s out there. So we just go, yeah, now we just play 10s. Which one did we just win? 30? And we won the 14 earlier. Okay, so we got the 5th one. So here we go. We'll just leave it out like this now. So we just lowered the bet. And we'll start over with these 4. 28's a miss. Okay, just gonna rebet double. So let's do the first double. 2. Again, we started with 152. Let's see what we can get to. 29. There's a miss. We've already hit the 30. That's why. Okay. It's going to double again. Numbers are bigger just because we're playing $5 chips, but it's the same exact thing. There's a 13. That's on the wrong side. Okay, one last double here. And then go into recovery. We started with 152. We're at minus 118 now. There's 20. That's a win. Pays us 400. And we're at 282 now. That's over our 250 mark. So anyway, that gives you an idea how the system works. We'll finish it up at 282 there because we're right at 22 minutes. I like to keep these videos under 25 minutes. So let's recap what we did here. We started off with a system called Meatloaf. We're basically playing the 2 top columns, the middle column and the last column. If you're looking at it vertically from the bottom of the board. So it'd be the middle column and the right column. And then, obviously we double the bet 4 times, if we need to. Otherwise, we're taking our wins and resetting, every play. And the idea is just to continually win and put profit in our bank. That's how pros play. And remember, there's only 2 types of players in the casino. There's professionals and there's tourists. And you don't want to be the tourist. Okay, that's it. All I can tell you is please subscribe to the Junko Bodie YouTube channel. We get you access to our videos and even some of the newer private stuff that we're going to be putting out here in the next few months. Also gets you an opportunity to get our giveaway, which we're going to have in November. Okay, remember my book's available at Amazon.com. It's called How to Win at Roulette by Junko Bodie. Just put that in the Amazon search bar and it'll come right up. That's it for today. Rock the day.